I'm not overstating it, am I? It's a real sense that something big is happening.
Well, it doesn't happen. I've been collective nervous breakdown. This has gone on long enough, I think. I think it's reasonable for them to take a long time to pursue all the options. And I don't think the Liberal Democrats can be blamed for that. But, this is the end game. The only question is, will it be a coalition or an arrangement? Clearly, the Tories want a coalition. They want a firm deal to stick. My view is that won't last very long. Liberal Democrats always split, as you know, in Wales. No, I think we're now at the end game, and I think Cameron will be in Downing Street tomorrow.
Well, surely the risk is, I mean, we can talk about the impending news, but surely the risk is that there could be splits on both sides.
I think this is a very, very fragile state of affairs. It'd be amazing if there isn't another general election within a year. And of course, the trouble there is that as soon as you think there's going to be a general election, your coalition falls apart. Because you're worrying about your own voters, you're worrying about what they'll do with the Liberal Democrat voters. All bets suddenly are off again. So this is a very, very fragile state of affairs.
David Cameron, we are expecting, will become Prime Minister, and the sense within Number 10 is that, it's the end. It's the end for Gordon Brown, and the bags are being packed, apparently. David Cameron will come into a very troubled inbox, if I can put it that way. At the top of that box is going to be, what do you think? Is the deficit and the economy?
Probably the only thing that will be in the box. It's the one thing he's probably got a real deal with the Liberal Democrats on. He's going to be terrifically curtailed by the need to preserve the coalition. So this is all going to be about the economy. It'll be very interesting to see where Vince Cable is in all this. But no, I think he's probably got the most difficult inbox of any Prime Minister since the war. It's a real nightmare for him. He's got the sort of problems that Thatcher faced in ৭৯, but she had a majority at least. She then had a war to support her. Cameron's war is unwinnable. He's really got the most awful sort of trial ahead of him. And I just don't think the Liberal Democrats will stay with him for long.
I mean, to what extent would you expect Mr Cameron, or his team of negotiators anyway, to have sorted out a decent level of support with the Lib Dems, at least on some of the more controversial decisions they have to take?
Well, I imagine that's what's going on over the road right now. The Tories will be frantic to get a real deal. But it doesn't matter what the deal is, they've got to rely on those Liberal Democrat MPs who are notoriously undisciplinable to stick with it week after week after week, knowing that the longer it goes on, the closer they get to another general election, longing to start fighting the Tories again. You can't imagine a more difficult state of parliamentary affairs, which of course is why the British don't like coalitions. But that's where we are. This is democracy.
There was an interesting point from Nick Robinson earlier, saying that he'd been told pretty reliably that one of the elements in this deal was fixed-term parliaments, and that more or less had been agreed, a 4-year fixed term. Would that be a good thing?
You can't have a fixed-term parliament if you can't get the votes. I mean, you've got to be able to support a majority in the House of Commons. This is the problem with our constitution. It's not a very good constitution, but that's a different question. The fact of the matter is, if the government gets defeated in the House of Commons, it has to go for a general election. There's no alternative to that. You can pass any law you like purportedly to stop that. But really, the only thing that matters is, can Nick Clegg deliver his MPs, or enough of his MPs, to support the Conservative Party on crucial votes in the House of Commons? When he can't, and that's when, not if, there'll be another election.
You're that confident it'll be trouble?
It's bound to be trouble. It's always been trouble in the past. I don't think some magic wand has descended on the Liberal Party. The Liberal Party's problem has always been it's only interested in one thing: proportional representation to give themselves lots more MPs. Neither of the two major parties will give them that. Indeed, the electorate doesn't appear to want it. So they're always chasing this will-o'-the-wisp.
A final thought, Simon, on that referendum which has been promised apparently on the AV system. Again, will that become a big cloud that hangs over all their deliberations?
I don't think so, because the AV, the alternative vote, which you've got in London already, is no big deal. It's not proportional representation. It's another way of securing the best person in the constituency. It doesn't give the Liberal Democrats many more MPs, an estimate of 20 or 30. The Tories have got ways of clawing them back by redoing the constituency boundaries anyway. AV is not a big deal. The Liberal Democrats have won very little from this, and now they're trapped.
Simon Jenkins, as ever, good to talk to you. Thank you very much. Simon Jenkins there of The Guardian, offering his forthright views on